Hey guys, Keen here at TheLowLife's. Obviously this year we've been following the Irish Drift Championship for the 2014 series, and we've been lucky enough to bag an exclusive interview here in IDC HQ with owner-operator Dave Egan. So first of all, thank you very much Dave for giving us the opportunity to shoot this interview.
Pleasure, Keen, as always.
So firstly for this interview, I want to kind of touch on your first year of running the series. How do you think it's gone so far?
It's gone good. It's been tough. I think when you sort of bag your dream job, I suppose, and you put the finances together to do something like this, you're all positive. But I set pretty high targets for myself this year of what we wanted to achieve. So far we've hit those marks, and I suppose it's been a fantastic year. I've been lucky in a lot of the way things have gone. But it's been tough. It's been a lot of work behind the scenes from all the IDC crew, and I've been very lucky to have fantastic people around me. I'm just one cog in a big wheel in IDC, and regards the staff, the drivers, the media, the fans. Everyone's been fantastic this year and really helped me to try and be ambitious and push the series along. So far, it's so good. We've one big, huge round left to go, and I suppose I'll sort of celebrate and relax and be a bit relieved when that one's kind of done and dusted.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen ourselves from the very beginning, from round one, that there's so many people around, whether it be staff and all the fans, and the atmosphere seems great. I mean, from round one itself, it was a great spectacle. Did round one kind of, did it set the scene for you for the series this year? Or?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to take credit for what's been building for 10 years. You know, I mean, I was given some very good building blocks by the Pro Drift series and Graham McNamara before that, and of course Kieran Hines the first year of IDC. So I mean, we had a fantastic building block to go with, and I just decided to push that a little further, take a lot of risks, I suppose. We did a lot of things this year that we kind of even trialed and errored a lot of stuff, you know, with the Fantasy League and, you know, updating the website, bringing on IDC live stream, the likes of Global Warfare. I wasn't afraid to try new things to just push the sport forward a little bit. And we already have such a great base here in Ireland. You know, we have fantastic fans. We have an amazing media team. We've, you know, from the judges to our track team, they're fantastic people, very passionate about the sport, among the best in the world at what they do. And I was just lucky to inherit, you know, that experience and enthusiasm, and it helped me to sort of take risks, knowing that the guys behind the scenes were well able to handle that. So from round one this year, it's been fantastic. Everyone's been really helpful, and I think we've kind of, I suppose at times I've been worried when it didn't seem that way, that would things work out the way they have, and we've just smashed a couple of events, and you know, we got more ambitious, and that's why we're trying to be as ambitious as we can be for the final round of the year, just to, you know, finish the season on a high.
Excuse me, you mentioned some stuff there that you brought in this year, like, you know, the live stream and Global Warfare. Tell us a bit about Global Warfare and how you feel that went, and how much it was to actually get that up and running with the drivers you brought in, and the track layout and the stand.
That was stress, a lot of stress. You know, a lot of people don't realise that from planning that event to actually the first concept of the event to it actually happening was something like 3.5, 4 weeks. So we had a fantastic, we tested our live stream at Fermoy, and that was just to see how it would work, you know, not go too far too soon. And I think 40,000 people watched that. It actually crashed our website. And then we went to Global Warfare. We knew it would be big. And the idea of IDC live stream was, I think for so long, even the 10 years competitive drifting has been alive and well in Ireland, that, you know, Irish drifting was almost like a best kept secret in world drifting, because, you know, you had these fantastic drivers, James Dean and Darren McNamara, Dean Carney, Eric O'Sullivan, who'd come from, and many more, Alan Sinnott and all the European champions too, that the world knew Ireland was very good at drifting, but they never really watched it, never really could see why. And I think this year we just wanted to open that up to the rest of the world. And I mean, I think over 100,000 people from 105 countries watched that event, which is spectacular, you know. And I think that just showed the hunger that the drift community worldwide had to see what was going on here. Now, obviously, bringing in these amazing drivers, Daigo Saito and Robbie Nishida, Matt Powers and Phil Morrison and Louis Lopez and Jerome Vasilla, all these guys from different countries. The idea behind that from a marketing strategy was that obviously these guys are very big superstars in their own countries. For them to come abroad, especially here to Ireland, to compete, would bring in the viewership from those countries, and it did. And that was the idea of selling the IDC live stream and making it, you know, a very entertaining show. And it was a challenging event. I mean, we'd done something no one had done before in Mandela. We'd put a wall in, a very dangerous wall. And we had, to change tracks, we had to build actual banks and things in Mondello for people to view, and we'd put in a grandstand where there wasn't one before. So to do all that in 3 or 4 weeks was a lot of work and a lot of stress, and I think I was the most relieved man when we kind of announced the podium. But a fantastic event, and I mean, I think it was amazing that we had 3 Irish on the podium at that event. It was a brand new track. There was no advantage to the Irish guys, and even the semi-pro guys handled it brilliantly. I mean, we had a couple of wrecks, but very few compared to the amount of competitors we had. I just showed the talent was there, and you can kind of throw anything at that IDC grid and they'll just laugh it up and push hard. And I knew that would happen, and I knew that this was the game changer for us, that the world started to watch IDC and realize that from our organization to our talent to our fans, it's just one big community working hard for a common goal, which is to push the sport here globally now and nationally, of course. So a big success, and it gave us sort of the hunger to even push it further now for the final, which was again a lot more stress, but so far the lineup's looking fantastic, and again we're trying to push it every time and take those risks, and they seem to have been worth it so far.
Yeah, I mean, even from our point of view, yes, we're watching round 3, all the rounds so far through our lenses, but even when we're sitting back and taking in some of the action, it really does send a shiver down your spine at times with the action that's happening on track. And obviously it's going to be tough for you to top that for round 5. And we've managed to hold on to our 10-year undefeated streak at Global Warfare. But tell us a little bit more about round 5, the final fight at Jackfest.
Well, okay. The first is the 10-year undefeated streak, which is something that I sort of happened to come across this year. Because when we had brought in Powell Trella to the first round, and I just looked back through the statistics and what had gone on for the last 10 years. And I just realized, kind of a eureka moment that no international driver had ever topped the podium here. And I thought that's incredible because we've had some incredible drivers come here. So we put that on the line at Global Warfare. Now, of course, no one knew what would happen at that event. And I'm a big fan of Irish drifting, and I was worried that it would be gone. And the guys who were there, especially who competed at that event, were well capable of beating. But in the end, the Irish, I think there was 7 international drivers in the top 16 and only 1 left by top 8. So it goes to show that the talent that is here, and they kind of like the fight. I think the Irish drivers are hungry to show the world what they're capable of. So basically when I come to plan an event, and I'm a fan firstly, before I'm an organizer or an owner, I look at it and I take a piece of paper, and I especially for Jackfest, the final fight, I write down what I think would be the perfect event. Like, what would an IDC fan want to see above all else? So what I do is I basically list everything that I think would be incredible, and then of course you settle for what you can actually achieve. With IDC round 5, it's been strange because the actual plan that I put together has already been put in place, and now we've even gone beyond that. So it's almost coincidence that schedules aren't clashing, and of course we moved the event to allow some of these big superstars to come. But I mean, like, this sort of event doesn't happen all the time. I mean, we've already announced Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Chris Forsberg, 2 of the biggest names in US drifting, to come to this event. I think we were only looking at the last BDC event, British Drift Championship. The 3 guys on the podium at that event are going to be at this event. The last Drift All-Stars event, the 3 guys on that podium are going to be at that event. The last Formula D event, the 3 guys from that podium are going to be at this event. I think there's a very good possibility that we will see every champion from every drift series in the Western Hemisphere at this event, which is an incredible thing for Ireland especially. And these guys are hungry. They're coming here not because to just show an appearance and wave to the fans. They want to win, Vaughn and Chris Forsberg are coming here to beat that 10-year streak. That's what they're doing. And it goes to show with Vaughn bringing his RTR Mustang to that event on Nitto tyres that he's here to take on James Dean. He's here to take on Dwayne McKeever and all these other guys that are coming to the event. I mean, there was, from a fan's perspective, what I want to see and what everyone wants to see, they want to see Vaughn Gittin Jr. against James Dean. They want to see Chris Forsberg against Dwayne McKeever. They want to see the best of the UK go up against the best of Ireland, the best from Poland in the Budmat Auto team go up against the best from the UK, Ireland, the US, everywhere. And that's what this event is about. It's like a Champions League final. And I don't think it's an event that we could ever do again, because for whatever way the cards have fallen, these guys have free schedules to do this event, and to ship all those cars and get everybody to that, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I'm personally, regardless of being the organizer of the events, I'm excited as a fan to see what happens, because, I think maybe James Dean goes in as a favorite, but I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of guys there that have beaten James in the past or have a vast amount of experience also, and have won championships like FD championships, European championships. So the idea of this event, in sort of summary, was to take the best of 10 years of Irish drifting, because it is the anniversary, and bring all those superstars back. You know, the Alan Sinnott's, Gavin Lenihan, Mike Dean, these guys that made drifting, you know, so successful in Ireland. Put them up against our current roster, who are smashing it at the moment all over the world. You know, they're topping podiums all over the world, and then bring in these huge international superstars to take them on, and just mix it all in a pot and see what happens. And that's, I think, what every IDC fan wants to see from this one. Couple of exclusives for you guys in the Low Life is that we will be running the original Jaff Fest layout, and the reason for this, I mean, we ran a different layout for Global Warfare. We more than likely will run a different layout again next year. But it's so historic. Those two corners in Mondello, they're so historic. I mean, championships have been won and lost. International superstars have come and have fallen there. It's that atmosphere that's created in that cauldron of the Mondello Grandstand in Jaff Fest for that event. We had to do it on that layout because that's the 10-year anniversary. That is the most famous two corners in Irish drifting. What's new for this event, first time Mondello, we'll be introducing big screen, which is pretty cool because now you're sitting in the grandstand, you miss something or there's a collision, you can get it instantly on an instant replay on a big screen. You can see the judges' decisions, they'll break them down for you right through the replay. So it's a lot more intuitive for the fans so that they can see a run, and if they're disagreeing with a call, we can rewind it back, look at the replay, and obviously break it down in detail so everyone kind of understands it. So a lot of new stuff we're trying. We're bringing a studio to Mondello, so we're going to have like a kind of a halftime show where we interview the drivers. We're going to do paddock walks similar to what they do in F1. So it's quite ambitious. Again, we're not sure how it's going to go, but we're going to be very ambitious with it, and I think the ingredients there are there for a fantastic event, you know, and I think it's something IDC fans won't want to miss.
So you've obviously talked about, you know, the ingredients here that are going to make IDC Round 5 a great event. And I mean, we can't forget that we've also got the Saturday show here at these events where we got the semi-pro and rookie drivers. They've obviously been great all through this series. Talk a bit about how they've got on through this year. I
mean, look, the semi-pro class they're warriors. That's the way I look at them. I mean, this year not only did we put at round 3 probably the most dangerous track. At the 2 rounds there was torrential rain for semi-pro. They were unlucky. They were caught both at Fermoy and at Ennis with torrential rain. But they keep plugging, and these are the future talent. You know, I mean, if you look at our pro roster now, these are guys going up against the best in the world, and they were in semi-pro 2-3 years ago, a lot of these guys, you know, and they were unknown, just like a lot of the guys are now. But I mean, I think it's so interesting this year when you talk about competitiveness that there's been 4 different winners of semi-pro and 4 different winners of pro this far in the season. So it's completely open. And I mean, we've looked at in semi-pro the likes of Nicky Hallihan or Chris Doyle or these guys, you know, not hugely competitive machinery, but just throw something at them and they'll just survive. They'll just keep driving, and they've got that sort of killer instinct. And I think it'll be funny in a couple of years when we talk back about these drivers like the Sean Galvins and the guys fighting for the championship in semi-pro, and they'll just be regular pros, you know, on a global scale. So I mean, it's the hunting ground, and I think that Saturday show, it's definitely a 2-day event. You've got to go see the Saturday show because it's so gritty, it's so grassroots, and it's exactly what Irish drifting is all about. It's about, you know, camaraderie, fighting it to the death, and with the championship, you know, coming down to, I think it's even now going into the last round. It's incredible. I mean, it's going to be a very tense Saturday right through qualifying. So if I'm advising fans, it would be catch both days of the show. You know, you get to see the pros practice on the Saturday, but the semi-pros, if you've never watched them before, they'll amaze you. And I think that the talent is not so far from the pro class already. So I'm looking forward to that one definitely for that event.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen some of the semi-pro drivers step up onto the Sunday event and take down some of the pro drivers and make it into, you know, top 16 and even further. And you know, coming into, as you're saying, with the competition then that's in the Saturday events, obviously Dwayne McKeever has already taken the pro championship for this season, but it's wide open still for 2nd, 3rd place and the rest of the championship standing. So how competitive do you see Sunday's event being, but also given that we've got so many international drivers, how tough will it be for these guys?
Yeah, I mean, look, the interesting thing about the 2014 IDC season is that Dwayne McKeever didn't just beat the best in Ireland to get his championship. He had to bite the bullet, and he had to do it in borrowed cars. He had to go up against Daigo Saito. I mean, he won it hard. It was the hardest championship I've ever watched someone win. And I think now he's won it, the pressure is off Dwayne a little bit. But I think, you know, if I know Dwayne, he's going to be aiming for James Dean. He's going to be aiming for Chris Forsberg, Vaughan Gittin, all these guys coming to the event. And it's a chance to show how good he is to the rest of the world. So in one way, Dwayne has more pressure to try and perform at this event after winning the championship. But for the rest of the guys, they're in the same boat. You know, I mean, everyone from second place down are fighting for championship points, not just against each other, but against the best in the world. And I think, you know, a lot of other championships would, their talent or their roster would say, you know, why bring all these drivers in? It kind of interferes with the championship. But I know firsthand from the drivers in IDC, I mean, throw anything, any challenge. They want the best in the world there. They want to go door to door with superstars from around the world, and they want to do it. The championship is secondary almost to them, to making a name for themselves. And I think that's what IDC is all about. We're an underdog series, you know, we're always going to be the underdog series with one track and a very small population. But right from the staff to the drivers to everybody involved, we feed off that. And I think that all our IDC drivers will be so hungry for this event to show what they're worth and finish the season on a high. So, I mean, that's what it's all about, really. It's about challenges, and that's what the IDC provides.
And I mean, you mentioned there that we've got our one main track, and it is a challenge for us. And I mean, it's tough for guys to get seat time and to get to different events because there aren't that many around. But this year already, we've seen so much talent from the Irish drivers, and especially young drivers. I mean, Dwayne McKeever, Jack Shanahan, Tomas Kiley. These guys, you know, they are the future of Irish drifting. And how good do you see our championship becoming when guys of this age are coming in at, you know, this young and taking on the best in the world?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, it's incredible. 14-year-olds in 600 horsepower cars, throwing them at walls at 85 miles an hour and just coping with the pressure and coping with the, I suppose, the expectation. You know, I mean, it's funny to me that people now expect Jack to do certain things. I'm like, he's 15 years of age, you know, so it's incredible. It shows the progression and it shows the future is safe. And I think there's a lot to come from the Irish Drift Championship over the next couple of years, that this is only scratching the surface. I mean, depending on how this event goes, I mean, if the Irish hold their own once again at this one, I mean, we've gone from a situation where we were approaching drivers to come to the Irish Championship to take on our roster. Now we are turning drivers away, which is incredible because they want to come here and prove their worth as if it is a legitimate proving ground, which now, with the talent of our young drivers and James and Dwayne and everybody included, that's exactly what it is. And I think this is a huge event for that. If the Irish can actually win this one, which I think even they may be the underdogs going in, it's a huge statement to the world. And I'm looking forward to see how the world reacts to that in 2015.
So you've talked about, you know, the stature of the Irish Drift Championship and how we kind of somewhat are in the shadows of the other championships, but yet we've got this 10-year undefeated streak. How important do you see that streak being, and trying to keep that streak going at the final fight in Jackfest for the IDC?
You know, it's either way for me. The challenge that I've created for that Irish Pro roster now is huge. This is an event that may never happen again. You know, that sounds like a marketing spiel, but it's true. It's very hard to get that many, you know, international superstars to one event and their schedules not clash and they're able to attend. What we can say about this event is that the best from Formula D, undoubtedly the best from Drift All-Stars, the best from the British Drift Championship, the best from all these Western Hemisphere championships will be at this event. A lot of them will be there in their own cars they've competed with all year, and they've podiumed all year. This is the biggest challenge, and whether the Irish win or lose, they won't lose easy, they won't lose soft, but they've lost to the best in the world, so that's fine. But if they win, I think the eyes of the world will be on this event. I mean, it's set up for a spectacular finish to the season, and I hope they win. I mean, obviously, I'm biased that I want the Irish to win, but at the same time, I've been kind of, I suppose, my own worst enemy in bringing these incredible superstars here. But look, it's what everyone wants to see. You know, you've got to put your money where your mouth is. We've been waxing lyrical all year about how good the Irish drivers are. Now is their chance, with the world watching, to impress. And, you know, I think it's mouth-watering to see what's going to happen. And I'm looking forward to it for one.
I mean, as you said there's so much going on around 5. We're really looking forward to it. We can't wait. I know we'll be on the sidelines watching it through our lenses, but no doubt the people there and the people watching on the live stream will be, you know, more than excited and geared up for this. So obviously, make sure that you get to Mondello Park on 27th, 28th September for the final fight at Jackfest. See you there.